Hello and welcome to my channel. My name is Courtney and I am a flower preservationist and business educator helping other preservationists perfect their skills and grow their business. Today we are going to talk about one of my favorite things to do, and that is boutonniere recreation. We all know the boutonniere gets the least amount of love on the wedding day. All the dancing, all the hugging, guys are just rough. It's very rare that a boutonniere will make it through the wedding day. So, it is what it is. But the groom still deserves to have a little piece of their special day too, so that they can remember it, and not just the bouquet, but also the boutonniere. So we do offer recreation if anyone either it doesn't have it with them or if it maybe got a little messed up. We do offer the recreation, and I'm going to show you how we actually do that. So are you ready? Let's go. Okay, so there are two processes that we have regarding boutonniere recreation. The first one is if we were to get a boutonniere that kind of is like this, that maybe got a little squished or the flowers didn't really save very well, we can take, the majority of it is okay, so we can actually take the stuff out that didn't make it and we can replace it. So we like to call that the sprucing up method. The other one is that we can create an entirely new boutonniere just with all the flowers that came out of the bride's bouquet. So as long as her flowers match what was in the boutonniere, then we can very easily recreate it. We just ask them to send us a picture and then we kind of make it up from there. So those are the two methods that we do, and I'm going to show you how to do the sprucing up one first. So here we go. Okay, so you can see here I've actually got three things that we're going to work on, three boutonnieres that we're going to do. We're going to start with this one first, like I said. This is the one that we're going to do. I'm going to move these over here. Just a second. Okay, so this is the one, like I said, we're just going to spruce it up a little bit. This guy kind of got a little squishy, so we're just going to add another rose to it and a little bit more fluffy baby's breath. So first thing I'm going to do is I am going to take out this rose that's in here. Just going to very carefully clip that out. Okay, there we go. And I like to use wire cutters just because you never know. A lot of times boutonnieres will have wires going through the flowers for them to be more stable. So I always like to have a pair of wire cutters just in case. Makes it a whole lot easier to cut out. So I'm actually gonna leave this baby's breath in here just to have it be a little bit more of a filler. But I'm gonna pull these guys out just to make a little bit of extra space for this new rose that's gonna go right here. I'll just kind of shove it in there. So it's gonna go right there. And then we're gonna set this guy on top. So I'm just gonna kind of cut some of this out, make it look a little bit more seamless, if you will. There we go. Okay. So next, what I'm going to do, I like to use the Counterculture's UV resin. I think this stuff works really well as a glue. So we're going to get that out, and I'm going to put some resin right here along the edge. Get a nice thick coating there. And then I'm going to flip it over and just kind of shove it in that spot right there. And then I've got our UV light here. I'm gonna kind of do it from the side just because that's where the glue is at the moment, just to kind of let that work. Let's set it just a little bit. That runs for 30 seconds, so just let that go. We're gonna kind of do this build up as we go, just one piece at a time. So glue one piece down, then we'll go to the next piece. Okay, so I'm gonna flip it over. You can see there's more glue on this side. Do another 30 seconds. Just want to make sure that the rose is nice and tight in there before we move on to the next section. Alright, so now you can see he's in there, not going to fall out, so we're good. Move that out. I'm going to set him down. And then the next thing we're going to do, so this guy is essentially going to go right here. So we're going to cut these apart and insert them individually. So I'm going to take glue, or the UV resin is not actually glue, it's UV resin. Now put some right here. And then I'm just going to lay down. Actually, I'm going to cut this a little bit more so it's not so long, because we still want it to kind of look like it's coming out of the little tie here. So I'm going to stick that right there. Do the same for this one. Put that out. And just kind of layer them on top of each other. I have this little silicone pen here, just so I can kind of maneuver it where I need to without actually touching the resin. And then get this guy in here too. Okay. Oops. Sometimes it takes a little bit of finagling to get it in there just right, or twist it around like that. Okay. And then I'm going to go ahead and just set it over the top. Let that sit for 30 seconds. Now those are all in there too. You can see they're all nice and stuck. Now we're just going to kind of keep building. I'm going to get a little bit more baby's breath, just to kind of fill this in a little bit here. So we'll put a little bit more UV resin. Stuff that in there. Whoops. And stick that guy in there. There we go. And then another 30 seconds. One thing I do want to mention, I don't have one on here because this desk isn't like super important, but if you're using a desk that you don't want to ruin, make sure that you have some sort of silicone mat down that you're working on top of so that it doesn't ruin your surface. Silicone resin will easily come off of the silicone, but resin will not come off of any other kind of surface. So you want to make sure that you are protecting anything that you're working on. Okay, yep, they're all stuck there now. So there you can see how we have essentially spruced up the boutonniere from before. So there's one down. Okay, and then this one over here, this is another one we can kind of say we're going to spruce up. It kind of fell apart, so we're going to, it was actually just a boutonniere full of baby's breath, and the bride wanted to add a rose to it to recreate her husband's boutonniere because his broke, so we were using a groomsman. But this one actually kind of broke up. after drying, so we're going to kind of put it back together. So we're going to essentially do the same thing. I'm going to cut all this baby's breath, cut these stems off. And this one is nice because it actually already kind of has a spot for us to stick the flowers into, so we don't have to use as much resin, which is nice. So we're going to do this. So what we're going to do is I'm actually going to put just a little bit of resin in here just to kind of help with making sure they all stick together. And I'm just going to start, inserting the baby's breath into the boutonniere. Gonna do the taller pieces first on the outside, like that. Oops, I just broke that one. No biggie. So put this one in here. So you do want to be careful, obviously these are kind of fragile. So put in there like that. Okay. And then we're going to add the rose to it. I'm going to clean this up a bit. But we're going to hide this part with more baby's breath, so I'm not too worried about it, but we are going to do that. So the rose is going to kind of go right here. So I'm going to add a little bit of resin here. I say a little bit, kind of a lot of it. I want to make sure it's nice and thick. Pour, so we're going to put the rose like that, and then we're going to very quickly cure the resin with the UV light. This light from Counterculture is really great, or you can also buy, they make like basically little flashlights with a UV light in it that you can use as well. Instead of having this big thing, you can have more of a handheld directional light as well. So you can see now that it's glued on there. So now we're going to finish. Basically, we're just gonna build up all around it with more baby's breath. So I'm just gonna put some glue around here, a little bit there. Glue, not glue. Resin, not glue. And we're just gonna keep putting more in there until it looks the way we want it. The bride did send us a picture, so I know what it looks like. I'll throw that picture up here so you can see it, or I'll try and throw the picture in here so you can see what it looks like. Oops. Sometimes baby's breath is a little hard to finagle. You know what, I think I'm going to get some other blooms. Okay, let's get some of these. I always have my extra blooms right next to me if I need to use them. There we go. It's filling in much better. I wanted this to be kind of thick, have a lot of blooms in it, based on the photo she sent. Okay. All right, so I'm going to go ahead and put the UV light on this. I can already see that some of the stems are not actually touching the resin, so probably gonna have to put a little bit more in there. And then after we're done with this one, I'm gonna show you how to just basically take leftover flowers. If you don't even have like a base to start with, like these we had bases to start with, but with these we'll just use actual individual flowers and greenery to actually make a boutonniere from scratch, if you will. Okay, I'm gonna, oh, yep, the rose didn't even finish gluing, so let me just put that back. Oh, hold on a second. I'm just gonna get that off there. See, this is why you want to make sure you have something under here if you actually care about this desk. So you can see I've got that on there. So that's not going to stay. So we're going to just put more UV light there. And then I'm going to turn around and add some more baby's breath in here. And I'm just gonna put, have some resin kind of just drip down into all of this. There. That's much more stable. So I'm gonna do another 30 seconds. Okay. A little bit of movement still, looks like it's on this side, so I'm going to put a little bit more resin over here, just kind of letting it drip into this area. And same thing, another 30 seconds. And there you have it. All right, and for the last one, we're just gonna kind of make our own boutonniere. I've got a little bit of everything. These are all flowers from the bride's bouquet. So as I said, if we don't have a base at all to work off of, we'll ask the bride to send us a picture of the boutonniere itself so that we can pick the flowers to use with it. So this one here, essentially, whoops. A little bit of, essentially looked like this. So this is kind of what we're going to go for. So cut all of this down. I've pinched it all together. If they have stems, obviously that's a whole lot easier. If they don't, you can always make stems by just cutting off, like, here's some random baby's breath. You can always cut these stems off of here and then glue them to the flower, or use UV resin or glue, either one, and attach it to the flower to actually make stems so that you can make the boutonniere a little bit easier. These already had stems, so that works out well. So I'm going to put a little bit of UV resin there and cure it. Okay, that's all stuck together. And then I'm going to take the greenery and do the same thing for it. So it was kind of off to the side like this. So I'm going to set that just like, oops, like that. Oh, we need it to be a little bit straighter for the ribbon. This can take a few times to do, especially if you have unsturdy hands like I do. There we go. You just want to make sure that they all come together at basically in the same spot. Okay, oops. Alright, and then we're going to use our little silver ribbon. Oops. There we go. Wire ribbon. Again, wire cutters are great. And then you're just gonna wrap it all up. It's obviously not gonna be like the most perfect boutonniere, but at least they have a representation, which is what matters the most. Okay, and then we'll just put a little resin there, cure that, cut the bottom off while it's curing. Cut this desk off a little bit. And there you have it. Little remade boutonniere. So there we go. We've got 3 little boutonnieres all redone and ready for resin. I hope this video was helpful. In the description below, I've linked all of the tools that I use in this video so that you can purchase your own if you need them to recreate your own boutonnieres or make your own. As always, if you have any questions about what I showed you here today, let me know in the comments. And if you ever have any ideas or requests for videos to make in the future, throw those in the comments as well. I always love hearing from you guys and what you would like to learn. I share new videos every single week, so if you're enjoying this and you want to keep learning more, make sure that you hit that subscribe button so that you'll be notified of the next time that we share another video. Until next time, we'll see you.